Hey everyone, this is Darshan Senthil, and I join you for my next post IPL auction preview, this time for the Chennai Super Kings. So, CSK have been the most successful team in IPL, undoubtedly. They've qualified for 6 semi-finals and 5 finals out of those, and they've won 2 of those 5 finals. So, they have definitely been the team to beat in all of IPL so far, and yep, the most successful as well, if not, and one of the best teams, if not the best. So let's just get started on this preview here. Now, retain players, there's really no surprise. Dhoni, they were never gonna get rid of him until they had to. Suresh Raina, even though he's been inconsistent for India of late, he's still the leading run scorer in IPL and has done wonders for CSK in the last 6 years. Dwayne Bravo, he was excellent in IPL 6. He took he was the first became the first player to take 30 wickets in a single season, and also made some crucial knocks with a bat for them as well. Ravindra Jadeja, of course, he's been India's frontline spinner of late. He's been very crucial to much of India's success in the past couple of months, in the past year, and also he's come good with the bat in a few occasions as well. Even though he's not been overly consistent, he's come good when India needed him. Ravichandran Ashwin, he's been criticized of late for his more stock bowling than attacking, but he's still one of India's most successful spinners today. And also, he partners with Jadeja to make a good duo. And even with the bat, he's come very good in recent times, particularly in New Zealand, where he scored a crucial 60-odd score that helped India draw a match. And yep, he was really good there. So that's the retain five. It's a very good five that they've got there. So now on to the list that they got. Faf du Plessis decided to pull him back from last season. Actually, he was the guy they used their right to match card on. Pretty interesting move there, ahead of Michael Hussey. Later, when asked about it, they said that they just wanted to. They had they were a little confused as to whether to use it on Hussey or him, so they just decided to go with who came first, and Faf came first. And it's a fair price there, 4 crore. It's not too bad compared to what a lot of franchises would have spent on him. Dwayne Smith, aggressive Mumbai batsman from the West Indies. You might have recalled in one of my previous podcasts, I mentioned that CSK lost Michael Hussey to Mumbai, and now CSK returned the favor by taking Dwayne Smith from them. And yeah, he was in ballistic form during both the Champions League 2013 and IPL 2013, and I think CSK will be very glad to have someone like him in their squad. Brendan McCullum, oh, we all know what form he's been in of late. He scored that amazing test triple century against India just recently, and he's just been incredible for them. Brendan McCullum, I think, is CSK's best buy, just 3 crores, which is not bad actually for someone in McCullum's class. And also, he gives them an extra opening option, and in addition, his captain keeping presence can take the load off Dhoni as well. So if Dhoni needs to be rested for whatever reason, then McCullum could take over both as a keeper and a captain. So having McCullum in the side will definitely stabilize things for CSK. Ashish Nehra, a bit of an interesting buy there for the amount for 2 crore. Nehra has often been criticized for his lack of concern to economy rates. He's been very expensive in many of his spells, and yeah, he's been joked about on Facebook even more if you check it out. And it's pretty interesting by CSK have made. I think what they're looking for is the aggressiveness in Nehra. That he has, even his action you can tell is very aggressive, and CSK have lacked that aggressive fast bowler in recent times. And I think their motive in purchasing Nehra is that he might be able to do something in that phase for them. So yeah, that's probably why they got Nehra. Mohit Sharma returns to the squad. He was pretty successful in the 2013 IPL and made a really impressive debut in Zimbabwe, but since then international cricket hasn't been a dream run for him. He took quite a beating in the matches he played in South Africa, and yeah, he's not been too good for India of late. He along with the rest of the Indian bowling attack has suffered. Ishwar Pandey, one of the rising talents in recent cricket. He played for Pune Warriors last year, and he didn't get too many outings. One of his outings was in Chris Gale's 175 massacre, so it wasn't a very memorable debut for him. So yeah, he didn't have a very good 2013 IPL, but he's now a part of CSK, so it'll be interesting to see how he fares over here. And they got him for a fairly high price, which is 1.5 crores, but still, it's not too bad. Ben Hilferhaus, I think CSK will be happy to have him in the side again. He's a talent, he's a really good fast bowler, spearhead, getting the Yorkers at the right time, and he was good for them in 2012 and the Champions League 2012, but since then he hasn't represented CSK. John Hastings, another interesting move, Australian all rounder. He was a part of the Kochi Tuskers outfit for 2011, but then injury kept him out of the season. So it'll be good to see Hastings go have a go for CSK. That the fact that he's an all-rounder might help. So he might also be key in replacing Albie Morkill, who, as I mentioned, CSK lost to RCB. Samuel Badri has been impressive over the last few days. He's been extremely good at the top of the spin lineup for the West Indies. He paralyzed England in both the T20s, and he's looking like a bright prospect for the upcoming World T20, and CSK would love to have him in their side. Matt Henry, the New Zealand bowler, just he made his debut against India just in the one of the ODIs. He took a 4-4 and was pretty impressive. So it's a pretty shrewd buy by CSK. So I'm not sure why they picked him up, because they've already got so many spinners, so many good bowlers in their lineup. But Henry might just be one of their trump cards, like Chris Morris was last year. So let's see how he fares. Mithun Manhas, he's a pretty steady batsman. He played for Pune and Delhi in recent years, so he's a good buy for them as well. Then you've got the three some uncapped players: Vijay Shankar, Rondit Moore, and Papa Aparjit. Some good bowling quality there, and batting as well. Then Pawan Negi, the left arm spinner. He played for Delhi in 2012 and 13, and he was fairly good for them, especially in 2012. He kept things tight and took wickets as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Pawan Negi works with Jadeja and Ashwin. And opportunity will be limited, of course, since they've got Jadeja and Ashwin in their side. It's not easy competing against them, but nonetheless, it'll be good to see how he fares. They got him at a pretty good price as well, just 10 lakh, which is really not much. It's like the lowest price. And yep, he's a good buy. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the CSK outfit. So this is how CSK stand. They've got a good number of batsmen. Their quality lies in their overseas batting with Dwayne Smith, McCullum, du Plessis. But then you've got some other good guys in the bowling as well: Samuel Badri, Hilfenhaus, Hastings, Matt Henry, etc., etc. So this overall is a good team that Chennai have. I feel they can do well. They've not held on to much of the quality that they didn't. Their strategy was very different from what they had in 2010, which was the 2011 auctions. Beg your pardon. So basically, their strategy then was to simply try and pull back the old faces. Like they retained all four, of course, and they tried to pull back the old players like Mutaya Muralidharan. And they put a lot of money in Murli, even though they couldn't pull him back in the end. He went to Kochi, but they still did spend on players like Badrinath and Michael Hussey and Dougie Bollinger. All those players got a fair enough sum from CSK. And even in their uncapped, they bought back Shadab Jakati and all the Ravi Ashwin, all those various guys. So that's what CSK strategy was back then, and it was not a wrong strategy either. They just won the IPL in 2010, and they wanted to hold on to the same squad to try their luck again. So there's really nothing wrong with that strategy. But this year they've seemed to have decided that they needed some sort of change, and they've decided to go with some new faces rather than just stick to the old. And it's not that they haven't stuck to the old, really. They've retained five, so they shows that they do like to keep on to some of the elements of their old side. They really like that side, but they just want a few minor changes here and there. Like they have dropped players like, say, Subramaniam Badrinath, which is a bit of a surprise, honestly, because he's a pretty talented Indian batsman, and Indian batsman meaning he doesn't count against your overseas count as well. And he's also a capped player, which gives him some amount of experiential value, and all that stuff as well. So that's a pretty strange thing that he didn't get sold at all, let alone to CSK. And also people like Shatab Jakati, Albi Morkel, and all these guys were picked up by various different franchises. And even Murli Vijay, namely, went to the Delhi Daredevils. And yep, that's the big thing. They have decided to go with some new faces, which is pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to see these new players. Now on to making the playing XI. So undoubtedly we're gonna have McCollum up front. He's one of the best T20 batsmen in the world. I can't see any reason why CSK wouldn't want to have him up front. And then it's going to be interesting to see who they have to open with him because before they used to have Parthiv Patel or Riddhiman Saha, Murli Vijay, Badrinath, so many opening options, but now it looks a little bit tough to see who they can open with because they have no Indian openers. They've got only overseas guys. They've got plenty of overseas openers, but very few Indian ones like Dhoni, Raina. They could open, it's just not something they do very regularly. Slightly irregular. So I'm thinking they would go with Dwayne Smith. I'm just hypothesizing here. I'm just gonna write Dwayne. Let me just fix that slightly. I am a perfectionist, you know. So yep, Dwayne Smith. So I'm sure these two will make an awesome batting duo up front, a destructive one. It'll be good to see them in action. Then one down, of course, we've got Raina. There's no removing him from there. Then number 4, we can slot in MSD, Dhoni. Then at 5, they could fit in Faf, Duplessis. I'm just gonna write Faf. And then you got Bravo. And who else? Jadeja. And Ashwin, I'm just gonna write Ash. Then Mohit, Nehra, and just one last player. Who will they put in there? Yeah, maybe this last spot I think will be between Ishwar Pandey and Pawan Negi. I'm just gonna put, for now, since they have the spin quality, I'm just gonna put Negi in there. Sorry, I mean Ishwar Pandey, since they already have 2 spinners. I Pandey. So now already you can see the risk with this squad they got. Yes, they've got a terrific batting lineup up here. These two and these, and they've got a smooth transition into the bowlers as well. So they've got plenty of depth. Even Ashwin can swing if necessary. And you can just see how they've smoothly transitioned from the batsmen to the all-rounders to the fast bowlers. That's a great balance I've seen. That's something CSK have always had. But you can see a little bit of risk that they have here because they're playing 3 fast bowlers and all of them are not the most reputable spearhead bowlers. Ashish Nehra, yes, he can, but he's been inconsistent, and I think inconsistent is a little bit too kind. I feel I'm being very kind to him by saying inconsistent. If you look online, you'll see quite different definitions of that. Then we've got Ishwar Pandey. He's a little bit unreliable. He's a very talented player, yes, but he's not even capped, and he's a little bit unreliable. Mohit Sharma, he's probably not the best spearhead bowler in the world. He's done well, yes, of course, for India in numerous occasions, but probably not the best bowler there is. But still, yeah. And then Jadeja and Ashwin, are gonna have to bear the majority of the pressure here, which is a little bit risky because they have done that for India, but of course you know how India's bowling lineup has fared so far. But this is actually similar to something that the Royal Challengers has struggled with over the years. They have like tremendous batting up here. Gale, Parthiv Patel, AB de Villiers, Virat Kohli, and so many other guys. But down here, their bowling struggles. That's the problem they've got. But I think they're trying to remedy it as well with Mitchell Stark and co. So I think CSK should try something along those same lines as well. But still, this would be a great batting lineup for them to hold on to. But notice that they can't slot in anybody here since they've exceeded their overseas cap. So let's just try something and let's see what happens if we were to slot in somebody here. So I think they would want to slot, say, Hilfenhaus in down here and pull out Ishwar Pandey. It put I'm just gonna write Hilfi, put him in there, and then they would pull out Dwayne Smith, and they could push Faf up here to open. He did that very well for them last in 2012 with entertaining results. But he played a key role in them chasing that 200 odd total against Bangalore. So they can pull in Faf up there, and everything else would still be pretty stable. They could pull in another Indian batsman. I say like Vijay Shankar or I don't know, Baba Aparjit. They could pull in one of these guys and put them here. And that wouldn't hurt CSK too much because they've already got so many other talented players around. Jadeja, Bravo, Raina, McCallum. On either side, there's really no threat for them, so they could afford to experiment with a new Indian uncapped batsman as well. So this is gonna be some interesting stuff. Wait, let me just put uh, Baba. Yeah, so they could make quite a few experiments here with their lineup. They could use Dwayne Smith. I think they will use Dwayne Smith and probably go with XI with playing XI number one. But I still feel that this playing XI number two is a little bit more safe for CSK because it not only allows them to experiment with another uncapped batsman over here, but also it gives them a chance to use Ben Hilfenhaus, and they could excuse me, swap out Hilfenhaus with John Hastings whenever they needed to as well, or even Samuel Badri if they felt like it. So that gives them the overseas bowling option, and then I think it would be a little bit safer for them to use Mohit Sharma and Ashish Nehra because they're not necessarily bad bowlers. It's just that they need some support up there. They need a little bit of support because if you put too much reliance on them alone, it would not probably turn out very well. So that's that, and that's what I feel CSK should probably do. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you found it very informative as well. And please do visit my website, iplgeek.com. I've got all my podcasts there in this little playlist. Or you could visit my YouTube channel, IPL. Just search IPL Geek Rocks in YouTube, you'll find it. And yep, see you later.